So we're going to talk to you guys about rain barrels, and we're going to discuss today, we're going to build a case for the rain barrels. We're going to do some calculations. Don't worry, it's just very little. And then we're going to do a how-to and show you how to construct a rain barrel for yourself. And it's a wonderful family project to do on the weekends. So let's build a case for the rain barrels. Here in Arkansas, we get a lot of rain. Here in Hot Springs alone, it's 58 inches a year. And you can see over the whole state, I mean, 45 inches is pretty regular throughout the entire state. So with the wettest state, 8th wettest state in the United States, the rainwater's free, right? This is a pretty exaggerated bill here, but $36,000. I don't think any of yours is like that, but kind of shows the point that we don't have to pay to water our landscapes all the time. So just over an acre with 1 inch of rain, you can get 27,000 gallons of water.
Thank you.
So how many 5 gallons is that? 5,400. Put it in perspective there. But now let's think about our homes. With just 1,000 square foot roof, you get 623 gallons with 1 inch of rain. And you kind of think about that. That's a lot of water that's just going down the gutter, and it's running off your yard, and it's not really soaking in. So building the rain barrel is a good way to do that. Collect that water and use it for later.
Thank you.
So we're passing out these tickets here, and we got some wonderful prizes donated by Killing Company. So we're going to go ahead and wait one moment. So anybody have any questions about how much water we get in Arkansas? No? It's quite a bit.
Where is it?
I do want to show you a rain barrel. So this is one that we went ahead and did yesterday to kind of show you the finished product. We've got, obviously this is the collection, and then you've got your spigot down at the bottom. You can do several different connections off this. You can do a Y connector that's going to allow you to run a soaker hose, and then also do another hose that you can use to fill up watering cans and take the water to different areas. And then we have our overflow here. This is important so that if it overflows, obviously this is going to run out, and you can have this go into an area that you're okay with that water going to.
What about mosquitoes?
Yes, and if you see here, we've got a screen that we put on top of this. So that's to keep the mosquitoes from laying larvae eggs in there, and protects that from happening, so you don't have a mosquito fest in your yard.
Are rain barrels illegal? This is the #1 question I got. Like I said, at the plant sale, I had tons of people asking me if rain barrels are illegal. Enough so that I actually had to go to our deputy city manager and our engineering department to verify that they are not illegal in Arkansas. And it is, I even read the code. There is an Arkansas plumbing code that raises some question. It speaks about engineered collecting rain. So we're going to go over what's the difference in a rain barrel and an engineered rain collecting system. The Arkansas Code, anointed rainwater, and it quotes it, states that harvesting rainwater can be used for non-potable purposes if the harvesting system is designed by a professional engineer licensed in Arkansas. A rain barrel is not an engineered system. A rain barrel is not a system. It's not connected to utility water or sewer systems. There's no chance of backflow contamination into the utility water system since they are not connected. If you want to connect it, and there are some people that do, if you want to connect it to your water system so that it's tied in, if you want more than one rain barrel, you want a system of rain barrels, and you want to connect it to your sprinkler system that's also connected to city water, you do have to get an engineer involved so that we can verify that there's no chance that the water from the rain barrel will backflow into our city's water and contaminate the water system. It would be a bad day if that did happen. Hooray for rain barrels. There's a lot that this little barrel can do. There's plentiful rain in Arkansas. Rainwater is free. You don't have to use your city water. Small rain events equal lots of water. This rain barrel will fill up really fast. You do have to use the rain in the rain barrel. It reduces stormwater runoff. I'm going to tell you kind of why that's important for us in stormwater, kind of the things that stormwater runoff can cause. We're going to go over a few calculations. I'm going to go over them pretty fast. So here's natural ground cover. 40% is evaporated, 10% is runoff, 25% is shallow infiltration, 25% is deep infiltration. With development, some rain is intercepted by roofs, streets, and parking lots. A lot of rain in an urban setting. Sheet flows off of impervious surface. Impervious surface would be rooftops, streets, and parking lots. There's a lot of it in the city. Impervious surface with only 20% will run off, 21% will shallow infiltrate, 21% deep infiltration, 38% evaporation. And that's with a 10 to 20% impervious surface. That's a rooftop. Makes a big difference. There are many forms of impervious surface. Sometimes we don't think about. We've got roads, parking lots, buildings, driveways, and sidewalks. Rain barrels are one way for rooftops for you to help with the impervious surface. That's a lot of green space, and you'd be surprised how much grass, trees, plants actually soak up the rainwater. 75% to 100% impervious surface. The city of Hot Springs has urbanized areas that are like this, that are mostly impervious surface. There's nothing there to soak up the rain. You've got 55% runoff. We went from 10% runoff to 55% runoff. That's a big difference. 10% shallow infiltration, 5% deep, and 30% evaporates. Why is reducing stormwater runoff important? The city's storm drain system conveys unfiltered stormwater runoff directly into Hot Springs creeks and ultimately into Lake Hamilton. One of the most important words that we use in my department is unfiltered. Whenever I first started with the department, I was very surprised how many people actually thought that stormwater goes to a treatment plant. It does not. Everything that it picks up as it sheet flows across your yard, over your rooftop, your yard, the roadways, ends up in Lake Hamilton. Every bit of it. Or it clogs up the storm drain and we have to go clean it. Common pollutants in urban stormwater runoff. This picture right here is a drop inlet. I took that picture about 3 weeks ago. That is severe, but it does happen. There are several of them that look like that.
What are we seeing?
There are footballs. There were magazines. There were, I'm trying to look and see what else we got in there. There were magazines. I see a basketball. I think that day I counted 14 different kinds of balls. Baseballs, basketballs, soccer balls. That was a pretty deep drop inlet. It was completely filled to the top. Some common things that go into our stormwater system that shouldn't go into our stormwater system: toys. A lot of yard toys. If you have a heavy rain, they're easily transferred to our storm drains. Grass clippings. I see a lot of people blowing their grass clippings onto the road for the rain to wash away. What happens is it changes the pH of the water, but it also can clog the storm drains. Leaves. In the fall, we get a lot of calls. Fertilizer, when people over-fertilize their yards. Pet waste. That's one thing that people don't really think about is the pet waste. And oil from your vehicle. Cigarette butts. Sediment caused by erosion. There was a slide earlier that showed a downspout from a rooftop, and the ground had completely eroded away. We actually got a call last week where the creek looked like chocolate milk, and it did from erosion. 1 inch of rain across 1 acre equals 27,000 or more gallons of rainwater. Undeveloped, remember we talked about 10% runoff and 50% infiltration. Urbanized area, 55% runoff, 15% infiltration. Do y'all think that collecting your rainwater on your property and using it is important? Every little bit helps us. What we need to do is shift our thinking. We need to stop thinking of rain as a liability, as a problem on our property, and start thinking of it as a resource, because it's a very valuable resource. Water falls off of roof. We can think of it as a positive. Water's falling from our roof. How can I use it? A rain barrel. How can it be channeled? How can we keep it, help it soak in? There are also other ways besides rain barrels. There's rain gardens. Rain gardens are a great way to keep the rainwater on your property and let it slowly soak in the ground. How can we divert it from landscaping? Instead of diverting it from our landscaping, let's use it in our landscaping. How can we get it off our property fast? Remember, if everybody was trying to get it off their property as fast as they could, our storm drains would be overrunning with rainwater. How can it be used? There are lots of ways that we can use rainwater. Disconnect paved surfaces, capture for later use, and enhance infiltration.
All right, so we want to talk about disconnecting from our paved surfaces. So this is a really creative thing here that someone did. They did a little rock garden here off of a downspout. They have it filtering the water and then it's going into their plants. So that's a really neat way to do. This is something that's going right into a parking lot. Looks like it's going into a lake or something, but it's just flooded and it's pouring right into the parking lot. So that's not what we want to do. We want to have grass. We want to have some kind of surface around there. So we want to disconnect from those paved areas if we can. We want to capture it for later use, building our rain barrels. And we want to enhance the infiltration from that rain barrel. So right here you can do soaker hoses. This allows that water to soak out, and you don't have to stand there and try to use it. You can just leave it and leave it on after a rain, and it'll go ahead and run through that soaker hose and water the areas that you want to. Because like Rachel said earlier, it's important to use this water if you're going to have it. You don't want to just have it sitting there. So we're going to do a few calculations, and we're just going to do this so that you guys can go home and kind of see what kind of impervious surfaces you have at your house, and you kind of figure out what you have at your home and what kind of runoff you have from it. So first you want to calculate the area of all impervious surfaces. So your driveways, sidewalks, patios. We're just going to do this little house here. So the house is 25 feet by 40 feet. That's 1,000 square feet. And we want to estimate the amount of water generated from a 1-inch rain. So to do that, we multiply the roof area in square feet by 0.623. Okay, and you can see that right here that we've got 623 gallons from 1,000 square foot. You add in your sidewalks, maybe you're at 1,250. Then you add in your driveway, maybe you're at 3,000. You can kind of see how that gives you how much water you're getting from each 1-inch rain that's just running right off your property. So pretty interesting to find out. So again, if we're assuming that we at least get 45 inches of rainfall, a 1,200 square foot home is going to generate 28,000 plus gallons of runoff every year. We want to capture that rainwater. Don't let it escape. Collect it and let's use it for our landscape. 55-gallon drums that you get, you want to make sure that's food grade. You don't want to get one that's been holding oil or herbicides, pesticides. It's important to have a food grade, and then you want to wash it out good. Make sure it's clean before you use it. And then we have a white one here, and then we also have a blue one. The difference is the white, you can see your water level easily, which is sometimes a really good thing to kind of know you need to use this up. The good thing about the blue is it doesn't collect algae so fast in it. And we'll kind of talk about maintenance here in a little bit. So we also have a publication here that you guys can all take. It's back on the 4-H table. It'll have instructions here of what we're doing so you guys can take it home. follow that and build your own rain barrels. There's also a great website here, knowtheflownwa.com. That's where you can get on there. You can kind of, it helps you survey your yard, and then it gives you some good resources as far as where you have issues in your yard, and then some good suggestions of what you can do to help with drainage in your lawn and using that.
So the first thing that we're going to do after you locate your rain barrel is you're going to get a reciprocating saw or a jigsaw and then cut off the top. So you're going to leave a little bit of a lip, but we need to take those off too. And then we're going to cut off the top.
And we have already washed this barrel out. All right.
I think I left some
and safety is important. So we want to wear our safety glasses, and we've got gloves here. I should have got clear safety glasses because now it's hard to see. That's all right.
Safety is the safest thing.
That's right. Now, as I do this, I'm leaving a gap on the outside of the barrel. You want to make sure to do this so you can later on put your screen on.
Now we're going to drill our holes. We're going to drill our 1-inch pilot hole, and then our 1 inch for overflow, and then our 1.5 inch at the bottom for our spigot.
So here I've got a 1 inch. This is just a drill bit that I had. You can do a 1 inch drill bit, but this is one that I had for metal. It works great for this. And we're going to do our overflow first. So we're going to have this facing forward, so we're going to do our overflow over here. And with the overflow, you want to make sure you go at least 2 inches below the top. You want to give enough room for that water to expand over that overflow, give it some time to work. One and a half. And same thing here, you want to come up 2 to 3 inches from the bottom of this. This is mainly for your spigot, so you have room for it not to hit the ground when you're storing it. And then also sediment that comes in from your downspouts, you know, you get dirt and leaves and things like that. They're going to be stopped mostly by the netting on top, but parts of it will get down here. You don't want it to clog up your spigot either.
Messing up my pretty flower stem.
I know, I tried to do it right in the middle.
All right, this is the step where you'll remove your plastic, you'll smooth it, remove the plastic first, and then you'll wash the barrel.
Yep. And we'll go ahead and do that a little bit and maybe do another drawing.
I'll let y'all do that. I'll do a drawing.
And I'm just going to use a knife to do that.
Okay, so now we're going to install all of our hardware. We're going to install our overflow hardware. This is a 3/4 inch hose adapter. And you're going to thread it into your hole.
So this is gonna thread right into the plastic. This is one end's pipe fitting, the other end is your garden hose fitting. Okay. Got to hold your tongue just right so nobody laugh at me if I get this wrong. Oh, I got it wrong. Okay. Then we're going to use a crescent wrench just to screw it on in there. And if you can also make rain barrels out of 40-gallon industrial style trash cans. So if you do that, you might want to put a washer at this stage to kind of give it a little more strength in between the barrel and the fitting. Okay, we got that.
And then we're gonna install the 3/4 inch bulkhead tank fitting. So this will go at the bottom.
Yeah, and that's what this is. So this is designed to, let me go ahead and take it off. And this is reverse threads. So instead of lefty-loosey, it's going to be righty-loosey, right? Yeah, that was harder to say than I thought, but yeah, I said it. Okay, you've got 2 gaskets as well. There's a really thick one on this end, and then the thinner one. You want to make sure your barrel goes in between those. So this is the part where it's really good to have a kid helping you, because you got to crawl into the barrel a little bit. And Carol Ann, if you want to do this part here. The threaded end is going to go through the top. I'm going to crawl in here and see if I can get this on there. I'm still working on it. I'm not napping.
All right.
Okay. Easy, right? All right.
When it's a good time to put that child labor to use.
It builds character. Okay, so then we're going to install our hose spigot.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put Teflon tape on this end here. We want to make sure we have a really good connection there. We don't want any leaking. And I'm going to take my glove off to do this. Two, 3 wraps is good? Yeah?
Yeah.
And again, you don't want to cross your threads, which I'm doing. I'm going to blame it on the dark sunglasses. It's a little easier to work with. Aluminum can really cut your fingers on the edges. Went ahead and pre-cut one. Staple gun. And you want to start, say 12 o'clock. And then you want to stretch it to the other side to 6 o'clock. Then you can go 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then you can fill it on in around. That makes sure you get a nice tight fitting there for your screen. And I'm going to leave it like that for now because I want to clean this out, all that stuff inside there before we use this. We're going to use this rain barrel at our office there at 236 Woodbine as a demonstration. So we'll have it on the side of the building there so you guys can also come by and kind of see how it works.
Then you're going to want to paint your barrel. Our barrel is pre-painted.
Except we're gonna
yeah.
handprint flowers.
Here's some examples here.
So installing the rain barrel, you want to obviously use it where you have your downspout coming down. You can do a couple of things. You can cut with a hacksaw. You can cut your gutter there. You want to raise this though. You want to have pressure, water pressure coming down. So when this is full, it's about 460 pounds of water. So you want to make sure you use cinder blocks or a wood structure that's going to support that weight. And obviously the higher you get it, the more pressure you're going to get coming out of it. So elevate it with bricks, wooden stand, cinder blocks. And you can also use a flex spout. They're about $10 to go from your cut downspout and then run it into this area here. You probably want to save the rest of your downspout. And go ahead to the next slide and I'll talk a little bit about maintenance, I believe. Okay. Using your rain barrel. We can do watering cans, hoses, soaker hoses. And again, that's why you can really customize it by putting on different fittings at this point and use it for different things. The annual maintenance with this, you do need to clean this out every once in a while. You're going to be able to see down in there and see algae growing around this. So you'll want to take this screen off. You can get a brush it off real good, rinse it out, dump it. During the winter time, it's important. You either want to clean it and bring it in for storage somewhere. You could turn it upside down if you want to, but that's where you want to keep the rest of your downspout. That way you can put it back and you can use it like it was before. Go ahead and next. Any questions at all about a rain barrel?
Sourcing.
Sourcing, yes. So with all of this here, so what you're seeing here, this roughly cost $66 to build. You can go get rain barrels from other places. They start around $90 and they go all the way up to $200 and probably even a little more, how elaborate you want to go. I've gotten stuff from Lowe's. Some things were donated from
Rachel.
Yeah.
Rachel.
Okay. And Harbor Freight have some stuff as well that you can get it from.
Keeling Company also.
Keeling Company? Yes.
Company will have any of the plumbing that you would need for it as well.
Yes, we have every fixture that you would need of all sizes for drain pipe and irrigation or hose bib adapters, stuff like that. If y'all ever want to come out to the store, I have plenty of demonstrations there of stuff, different stuff you can see that will help out with the drainage and things like that. Anything you want to adapt to these rain barrels, we would have their Keeling Company on Malvern Road. If y'all ever want to come out there and just see what we got plenty of this stuff that'll help our issues with the rainwater and things like that. So.
And then do you have rain barrel?
I do not have the rain barrels, so I do have everything else.
Yeah, and these you can get from food processing places have these that do soda pops, things like that. There's also a place in town that I got this barrel from, Q's Tools. It's down on East Grand and Spring. He's closed down right now, but he's got his phone number out there so you can call him. He says, this is the last one, I got the last one. But he said he will get more in. So if you want to give him a call, he's there on East Grand and Spring to get the actual 55-gallon drums. So, all right.
And you talked about like connecting multiple barrels. Like if you're not feeding it back into irrigation or sprinkler or anything, maybe you have a larger garden and you want to utilize these just for watering the garden. Like, can you connect multiple rain barrels as long as it's not connected to any?
Yes, what we're engineered, when you're talking about getting an engineer involved, what would be required is if you were connecting it to your water or your sewer. If you're not connecting it to your water and sewer, then you're fine. If you want 2 or 3 rain barrels because you have a large garden or you have a large area that you're wanting to use it for, that's not a problem.
And I do want to make a point too that this is, so when this comes off your roof line, there's going to be oils and other things that are on that roof line that's going to pour into this. So you really don't want to use this water for a vegetable garden. Make sure you use it for your landscape plants. We just don't recommend it for the vegetables. Not drinking either.